non-Muslims.
Since you're talking about different non-Muslims that will talk about Muslims, in the Islamic religion, do the women, they have the rights?
In Islam, men and women have got equal rights. But equality does not mean identicality. They are equal overall, but in some aspects, the men have a degree of advantage. In some aspects, the women have a degree of advantage. But overall, men and women are equal.
How about, like in Islam, they say the man can have 4 wives. Some will say, why the women? They cannot have 4 husbands.
There's a logical reason for why a man is allowed to marry more than 1 wife. But the vice versa is not true, that polyandry, a woman is not allowed to have more than 1 husband, is because that if a man has more than 1 wife, and if the child is born, you can very well identify the mother as well as the father of that child. But if a woman has more than 1 husband, and if a child is born, you can identify the mother but not the father. And there are various other reasons. For example, that a man is much more polygamous in nature as compared to the woman. And besides that, if a man has more than 1 life partner, he doesn't have any sexually transmitted diseases. But if a woman has more than 1 sexual partner, there are high possibilities that she may have STD, that is sexually transmitted disease.
But is there any rules and condition for the man? Does he have to pay them equal? He has to be with them equally, or he just can marry and neglect the first wife?
And the only condition which the Quran mentions is in Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 3, which says that marry woman of your choice in 2s, 3s, or 4s. But if you can't do justice, marry only 1. So Islam says that you're allowed to marry more than 1 wife only under the condition that you can do justice. If you can't do justice, you cannot marry more than 1 wife.
Doctor, can you define justice for us? What is justice?
Justice means, for example, if a Muslim man has got 2 wives, and if he buys a car for 1 wife, say maybe a Mercedes car, so for the other wife also he should buy a Mercedes car. If he buys a flat for one of the wives, which has 3 bedrooms, so even for the other wife, he should buy a 3-bedroom flat. In terms of economic justice, in terms of social justice, in cases of love, etc., in all the fields, as far as possible, the husband should be just between all his wives, if he has more than 1 wife.
But I mean, if a husband, for instance, as you said, if he cannot do that, for instance, he cannot buy 2 Mercedes, you only can afford 1 car.
Okay, so what he should do, that he should buy 2 Toyotas and give 1 to the first wife and the second to the other wife.
No, I mean, if he cannot afford to have 4 wives, is it compulsory to have 4 wives?
No, nowhere does Islam say that it is compulsory to marry more than 1 wife. In fact, polygyny, a man having more than 1 wife, is optional. Nowhere does the hadith say that if you marry more than 1 wife, you get more sawab. It's optional. But the criteria is that if you marry more than 1 wife, you should be able to do justice. If you can't do justice, then you will be sinning if you have more than 1 wife and you can't do justice. And regarding the first part, that a person should not only be rich to marry more than 1 wife, that if he's poor, then whatever amount of resources that he has, he should equally divide it between both his wives. And resources is not the only criteria, even love, affection, the social conditions, and all the other aspects of life.